Estudiantes, hola. Today our topic is going to be the present perfect tense. Now, we use the present perfect a lot in English, and I don't think we necessarily realize what it is. So, my goals for you today are to be able to identify the present perfect in English, as well as be able to identify and maybe start to use it in Spanish, something that'll be very helpful for your everyday language. So, you should have your notes right by your side. I've got mine, and let's get started. So first we're going to talk about what is the present perfect in English. How do we identify it? When is it used? So on your notes, I want you to go ahead and you'll just write your own little definition based on what I talk about on this slide. So the present perfect is an event or action that has taken place. All right. In English, it looks like this. We've got the word has or have, and then we've got our past participle. Now remember, we talked about those past participles earlier this week. In English, most of them end in ed, but we've got lots of irregulars in English. So, for example, she has written a book. She is our subject. Has, right, is our helping verb. And then our main verb, past participle, would be written, right? So that's an example of an irregular in English. So very, very easy to identify. And like I said, we use it all the time. So what does it look like in Spanish then? We're going to use our verb haber, which I said earlier is a helping verb. We'll talk more about that in more detail later. Has, a, hemos, vais, and on. Notice that that H, remember, is silent. So we've got our verb haber. That's going to agree with our subject. And then you're going to add that to, you guessed it, our past participle. So again, just to review, our past participles in Spanish, if it's an AR verb, it's going to end in ado. And if it's an ER and IR verb, it's going to end in ido. Now our past participle with the present perfect looks a little bit different, okay? Because the function is just slightly different than what we've seen earlier. So the difference is the past participle functions as a verb as opposed to an adjective, which we saw earlier. We didn't say libros escritos. It's not written books, but it's saying she has written. It's acting as a verb. See the slight difference between the two? So because of that, our past participle is always going to end in an O. We don't have to worry about that agreement piece of it. And then, of course, our same irregular past participles still apply, such as written, escribir, abrir, ir. All of those irregulars are you're still going to use those. So, let's look at some examples. Nosotros hemos comido pollo. Again, remember our verb haber our conjugation is going to agree with our subject. In this case, it's nosotros. And then we have eaten chicken. So our past participle of comer is comido. And there you go. So to build on this sentence, we could say nosotros hemos comido pollo cada día esta semana. We have eaten chicken every day this week. There you go. Another example, ella ha pintado la puerta del piso. She has painted the door of the apartment. There you go. So those are some examples, and you have those on your notes as well. All right, so what do we do about those pronouns? That's been a topic that we've had for the last couple weeks. I want you to stop and think about what pronouns do we have? We've been talking about several. Can you remember what those are? If you said our object pronouns, such as direct object and indirect object pronouns, you are correct. And if you also said reflexive pronouns, you are right on track. So what do we do with those pronouns? They go before our conjugation of haber. So no questions asked, it just goes before haber. So let's look at some examplos. Me has traído las presentaciones. You have given me the presentations. And then Marcela se ha duchado antes de la escuela. Marcela has showered before school. Again, notice that second one, Marcelo se ha luchado, is a reflexive pronoun. And then in our first sentence, me is going to be an indirect object pronoun. So there we go. So those pronouns, they're not going away. And that's about it on our pronouns. I'm going to add on to a couple of past participles that we haven't talked about yet. Something very slight, not a big deal. We've got 3 verbs that add an accent to their past participle. Leído would be read. Oído would be heard. Traído would be given, tried. And those are your past participles that have accents in them. Easy enough. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So, now it's time for you, make sure you've got those on your notes, but now it's time for you to practice. I've got 2 practice activities for you. The first one, we're practicing with our verb haber. So I would like for you to go ahead and you're going to complete the phrases with the correct form of haber. So go ahead and hit pause and do so now. Okay, let's see how you did. Number 1, you should have said yo he comido, right? Because remember, our conjugation of haber is going to agree with our subject. Ella ha escrito. And remember, we don't have to worry about any of that agreement with our past participle or escrito because it's functioning as a verb. And él ha soñado, going to be the same because, again, our subject is on the same conjugation. Ellos han perdido, they have lost. I just bit my tongue. Nosotros hemos preparado, we have prepared. Tú has estudiado, you have studied. Vosotros habéis aprendido, you all have learned. And then ustedes han olvidado, you all have forgotten. So, very important verb, and the faster you get these conjugations down, then the easier your present perfect life is going to be. So the last activity, you're going to rewrite the sentence in Spanish using the present perfect tense. All right, so if you'll notice on the back of your notes, you just have 5 blank lines. So I'm going to ask that you rewrite the sentence in Spanish using the present perfect of the verb in the parentheses. So, I noticed that there's a little typo. That should be preparar. Make sure that you fix that. That preparar is an AR verb. Go ahead and hit pause. And we're going to go over these notes in class. So make sure you've got your answers down because that's how you'll be gaining credit for these notes. So hit pause, write your answers down, and I will see you guys in class. Thank you.